Good day, people of the internet. This is GW2 Basics, and today, if you can't tell from my inventory, we're going to be looking at how to make a legendary. Now, I'm sure many of you are going to be thinking, not another legendary making video, but most legendary videos I've seen have been made a while ago, and Guild Wars is always changing, so it's actually, I feel, kind of getting easier to make a legendary, so why am I making this legendary video? First, documentation of just me getting this legendary and being excited. To help people who are crazy like me and trying to make a legendary before the expansion of Heart of Thorns. Show you the experiences I've gone through to actually make this legendary. This is very different from, well, it's a little different from people who've made legendaries in the past. And I'm going to be comparing it to making a legendary in Heart of Thorns when that comes out. So, when Heart of Thorns comes out, I will be trying to make my second legendary in that game using that new system. So, when you're going to make your legendary, there's a couple things you have to look into to actually make it. First, you need to see what weapon you want to go for, either to sell it or use it. So, that's one of the first things you want to look at. You also might want to look into, does the skin actually please you? Like, if you go to the... I'll just pull one up quick. So if a skin pleases you, like, choosing between all the great swords we have, like, which one looks the best for you? Just an example. And then you actually have the materials for the skin. And what I mean by that, I'll be talking about in just, well, right now. So, after you decide what legendary you should go for, there are one of two items you should be making first. Mystic Clovers, which I'll show you how to make one in just a moment, and the Precursor. Now, some people leave the Precursor to be the very first thing you do, which causes you to actually make your legendary, and some people wait for the Precursor to be the very last thing you do. I actually was going for the Longbow Kutsu for a while, and then I realized, oh, the Precursor for the Torch skin, Flame of Rodgort, is a lot cheaper than the Precursor for Kutsu. So I changed plans and started making Rodgort. So, on to that. This whole video is going to be how I've been going about making the legendary weapon Rodgort. Very first thing, when you're making your legendary, you want to do the Mystic Clovers very first. Because Mystic Clovers is going to be using a lot of materials that you're going to need later on. Because when you make it with Clover, you need obsidian shards and ectoplasm, which is used for two different parts of your legendary later on, which both of them need 250, as you can see. And also, making these Clovers gets you the possibility of these tier 6 materials. And that's another thing. I'm going to be referring to this material stuff that's used for the 400 crafting as T6 materials or T6 mats, just so you understand what I'm saying. I'm also going to be referring to obsidian shards as obby shards, just so I'm not confusing you guys later in the video. So to make your Mystic Clovers, well, you're going to need 77 Mystic Clovers. I already made them because that's what I did about a year ago. So to make these, you need an obsidian shard, a glob of ectoplasm, a mystic coin, and either 10 crystals to make 10 clovers at once, or you need 3 philosopher stones, 6 philosopher stones, to make a clover. So, okay, did not expect that. I got a clover. Going towards my next legendary. If you didn't get a clover, you're going to get something like ancient planks, some orichalcum ingots, or any other tier 6 materials. To actually get these crystals and philosopher's stones, you want to come over here to Mayani. We're going to be visiting her a lot for materials. So crystals and philosopher's stones are right here. And my personal opinion that has happened to me with making the clovers was, I found if I start out making the sets of 10 first, I had much better luck than doing it later in the farm, in crafting them. Also, I would suggest do the clovers over a slow period of time. Don't be like, I'm going to gather up 250 obsidian shards and ecto, and I'm going to throw it into the forge and then get stuff. I would say do it in little increments over time. It's going to be going a little slower, but you can definitely see progress. Okay, next part we're going to look at is the Gift of Mastery. This involves you going to doing various things around the world, and then we're actually going to make it right here. So the first thing you're going to need is a Bloodstone Shard, which is this. You can get it from Mayani, and it's 200 skill points, so that's a lot of skill points for some people doing map completion as well as leveling up an level 80 character and getting Scrolls of Knowledge, I think it is. Can definitely get you there. Next item we're going to need is 250. I'm going to just minimize this. 250 Obsidian Shards. Now, Obsidian Shards have become a lot easier to gain these days. Okay, you can cash in Karma for the Obsidian Shards. Fractal Relics when you actually go into the Fractals of the Mists. Laurel vendors have them. You can trade in Bandit Crest for Obsidian Shards over in the Silver Waste, but it's at a rate that is kind of expensive. It's about 250 Bandit Crest for an Obsidian Shard, so not a good deal. And then if you just go do the chest run in Silver Waste, it gets you Obsidian Shards. Next, I had that out of order. So next item we're going to need is the Gift of Exploration. How you get this is you have to complete everything on the map. So up here in the top corner, if you open up your map, it has the world exploration. And it gives you the percent, what you have to go do. And then that's for completing all zones in Tyria. You no longer have to go into World versus World and do map completion there. And, South Sun Cove and the Maguma Waste are not included with map completion. When Heart of Thorns comes around, more than likely, map completion is just going to be involving completing vanilla, the vanilla world, so Tyria. But we'll figure that out when that comes. And you get 2 Gifts of Exploration when you get map completion. The next item is the Gift of Battle. Now this has been made a lot easier since a patch that came out about a year ago. So what you need is to be rank 13 in World vs. World, as well as have 500 badges of honor. You get these badges of honors by completing the jumping puzzles in World vs. World and killing players, but also mobs. Maybe not mobs, but definitely players give you badges of honor. You also have to, another way to get these badges, which is really easy, is doing achievements. Every time you get a chest, you will get a bunch of badge of honor. Every single chest you get from the achievements where you hit like 500 achievement points or 1,000 achievement points will give you an amount of badges of honor. And I'm actually got a lot of badges of honor for some reason. So that is a very easy way. If you need to rank up in World vs. World, the 2 best ways to do it are either actually 3. Just go do World vs. World stuff. So the Champ Train in Edge of the Mists gets you a bunch of experience. Going zerging with people on Reset Night, which is a Friday night, gets you a lot of experience. Or if you're in if a World Tournament series comes up where the World vs. World in World vs. World, there's a competition going on that's more than usual, that you actually get some big rewards. Going during that, you're going to have lots of people there, so you have lots of chances for World vs. World experience. So, we have all the items here. We're going to put in this Bloodstone Shard, Obsidian Shard, Gift of Exploration, and the Gift of Battle. And we get the Gift of Mastery. We are now 1/4 of the way done with our Legendary. Next item we're going to look at is the Precursor. Now I got the Precursor of Rogwart's Flame. There's a couple ways to get this. You can get it from you can just buy it straight off the trading post, which is what I did. This was extremely cheap. This was 95 gold compared to some other precursors which go for 1,000 gold or 500 gold, and they're just expensive. The other ways to get your precursors, I'm going to just double check this before I start speaking, is a rare drop from enemies, very rare drop from containers or chests around the world from jumping puzzles, or just chests around the world. But the other way to get this item is by mystic forging. And that's where you throw a bunch of items into the mystic forge and you hope you get something out. This can be as simple as how you've been seeing me if you looked at the ectoplasm video that I put out, just throwing in a bunch of weapons and armor in, and that will get you the precursor, but it's a small chance. And the other way that is more reliable is, sometimes more reliable, is just taking all of the same weapons, so 4 rare torches, throwing them into the forge, and hoping you get Rogord out. But that can be a bit of a miracle to happen.
Are you ready for a miracle?
Yeah. So, we have the precursor. That means we're halfway done with the legendary. We're going to move on to... Oh god, what do we move on to next? Because next 2 parts are going to be a little interesting. Let's go Gift of Rodgort, just because we got some of the stuff. Now, every single legendary has a gift of that legendary. So, the Gift of Twilight for Twilight, the Gift of Moot for the Moot, and Gift of Rodgort for us. So, you need a couple items. First, you need some Icy Runestones, which can be found up in the Frostgorge Sound, near a little camp next to the area where the Claw of Jormag is fought. After the Claw of Jormag is killed, there's going to be a spawner in the camp who will actually start selling these Icy Runestones and recipes for Jormag weapons. So you need 100 Icy Runestones. It's going to cost you 100 gold. And the next item we need is a sigil. Superior Sigil. For this one, it's Superior Sigil Fire, which was cheapish, but it was 3 gold. It's a lot cheaper compared to lots of the other stuff we're looking at for our legendary. And the next part we're going to need is the Gift of Wood and Gift of Liquid... No, Vial of Liquid Flame. There we go. These are legendary recipes that can be bought from Mayani. If you look at the Mystic Recipes tab, you have all of these gifts. They are account bound on the acquire, so you can move these between characters. I've already bought the items I need, so those are on the according characters who will be able to craft these. So that's a Gift of Wood is for a level 400 Huntsman, and Vial of Liquid Flame is for a 400 Chef. So we're going to take a small trip. So each of these gifts are going to require different materials. For the Gift of Wood, it's just 250 wood. That's seasoned wood planks, hardwood planks, elder wood planks, and ancient wood planks. Each of these, I can't really say a guaranteed way of how I've been farming, how I farmed up the seasoned and hardwood, but the elder and ancient wood, I do a farm over in the Malkor's Leap that I'll be showing on the screen right now. Actually, I'll just show it to you right now. It's also very familiar. It's most often known as the Foxfire Farm. So you come out here to Malkor's Leap. You start here at Paga's Waypoint. Paga's Waypoint. And you look on the map, you look for all the wood around here. And then you travel up this way. You hit up some wooden things here. You go up. You don't see it on this peninsula, but then you travel along this peninsula, hit up everything that you can get. Jump down this way, head through the crusted shoals, head through this little valley, and you just keep on heading around. There's going to be a monument here to Melandru that's covered in cypress wood that gets you elder wood. There's about 5 of them there. And then once you get into this little valley area, after you cross this bridge, it is just littered with wood, ore, and herbs. The whole point of this farm is to get you elderwood, some ancient wood, a little orichalcum, mithril, as well as black crocus, I think it's called, ghost peppers, which is what we're needing, and omnom berries as well. By the time you get to the very end of it, it's only going to be a little bit till all the um, regular resources respond to T5 resources. So doing that about a day for a while can get you a bunch of resources. So that's all the wood for the gift of wood. So that'll be going to my character when I got all that stuff. The vial of liquid flame. This is the part of your legendary that requires you to do some dungeons to actually get the item. So for this, we need 250 ghost peppers. We got that. We need 100 molten lodestones and 100 destroyer lodestones. I will be working on that in between two parts of this video. And the molten lodestones will get you the... molten lodestones can be acquired by doing fractals of the mist and... before I start... Nope, why am I doing that? Molten lodestones come from Citadel, the Citadel of Flame. So that's really good because it's a very short dungeon. Just doing that can get you a couple of these. You can see by the numbers, it's easier to get destroyer lodestones to molten lodestones, and they are a little more expensive. Yeah, I'll be going over how I'm going to be going about getting the rest of these in a while. And destroyer lodestones can be acquired from Fractals of the Mist and Sorrow's Embrace, which is another short dungeon. Sorrow's Embrace, I find, is the best way to get it because Fractals of the Mist has the possibility of giving you a bunch of other lodestones, but it's still good to go do Fractals. We also need one dungeon item, which, if we come here to the Dungeon Merchant in Lion's Arch, and that's the Flame Citadel Merchant, we need a Gift of Balefire. This is going to be 500 flame char carvings. And now, once I have all the lodestones and ghost peppers all set up, I'll send this to my chef, and he will make us a vial of liquid flame. Now, the last part of this legendary, which is definitely one of the hardest, is the Gift of Fortune. Gift of Fortune requires you to have 77 Mystic Clovers, which I've already gone over how you make those. Then you also need 250 globs of ectoplasm. There are the ectos, there's the clovers. And the ecto actually took me a while. If you're wondering how to get ectoplasm, I did do a video of how I've been gathering it, so you can check that out. And the last two is the Gift of Magic and the Gift of Might, which is all these T6 mats right here. The blood, the venom sacs, the totems, and the crystal line dust. All that is for the Gift of Magic, Gift of Might. So these items are very expensive. As you can see just from the blood alone, it goes for 50 silver. But this is going to take a lot of materials. I need 250 of each of these. So that means I would have to go out and farm or convert these from tier 5 materials, which may not be cost efficient for some of them. One other way you can do it, which I'm going to be doing right now, is cashing in your laurels to a laurel vendor to give you these heavy crafting bags. These bags contain 3 tier 6 materials. So I'm going to buy as many of these as I can and try and max out my tier 6 mats. So I'm going to see you guys in a little bit while I open these and see if I get some good stuff. And one thing to also note, you're going to need a lot of gold for this legendary. You need 100 gold for the Icy Runestones. I'm going to be using up all my laurels here. God. You need another 20 gold for each of the gifts. So at minimum, you need 120 gold for all this, but with all this materials that I also need right here, this is going to be costing me a lot of money. Oh, we're so close. And there we go. I'm out of laurels. And I've almost most of these just need like 100 more items on them. So I'm gonna go about off camera gathering up the last items for all of these things. So what's gonna be a couple seconds for you guys is gonna be maybe a day or two for me. I've got to forge stuff and buy stuff, yeah, and farm. So I will see you guys in just a moment, in air quotes. So it turns out it did not take me a couple days to get all the materials I needed. It just took a couple hours and doing some finagling on the trading post. So I have all the tier 6 mats, and I also have both of the gifts made. Here we go, the gift of wood and the vial of liquid flame. So let's throw these into the forge and get the items we need. So 1 rune, and we have the gift of Rodgort. Oh, we are so close! Oh wait, I forgot. Doot doot. 1 gift of magic. 1 gift of might. 250 ectos, 77 clovers, magic, might. Magic, might. 1 gift of fortune. Now, I just want to say a couple things before I finish this up. Just so you guys know, with the gift of might and magic, you should be trying to go for those last because of the tier 6 mats you need. As well as some good areas to actually do stuff, and, well, for the getting your tier 6 mats, it's good to convert them from tier 5 mats using the Mystic Forge. Just calculate the actual cost to see if it is better, and any level 80 areas gets you a good amount of tier 6 mats. And also, if you need gold, if you need like advice on making gold or ectoplasm, I did put out 2 videos. That is the way I've been making gold and ectoplasm for making this legendary. So, here we go, actually.
Are you ready for a miracle? Are you ready for a miracle?
Oh god, I never thought I would come to this. Oh! Look at the select stats. Oh, this is awesome. Nope, why are you there? This is awesome. Nah, I'm not gonna be that guy yet. So, I'm gonna quit. Oh god. Select stats. My stats right now.
Another testament to my greatness.
Oh! Got the fire. I've got the footsteps. To go when I'm walking? Oh my god, it does. I'm gonna keep this for later. So, oh, we have the legendary. This is awesome. Now I shall be fancy like everyone else and be tiny with my Azura so no one can ever see it. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I would just like to quickly thank some people who have helped me get my legendary, and I have warned you I will butcher your names. So, thank you Vitor for donating some supplies as well as Alona. You guys have really helped me actually get this legend. Well, you guys have helped me get this legendary. Oh, awesome. So if you enjoyed the video, hit like, comment, subscribe, hit me up on the Twitters and the comment section below, and have a day. Actually, I think I should get like a little shot of this that just ended right there. Oh! Ooh, shiny.